On that one.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
Facebook
live.
is live.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, we're live.
we're late. And as you can see today, I'm wearing my hat like a yardie, right? Just in case you didn't know why, you know, because I'm just troublesome today, so that's how it is. Yes, Alison, we've seen you. Because Alison must have been waiting and then wondering where are they. So we are here, Alison. We are here. So, family lies and secrets. I know. Okay, we're not. You know what? I don't know how long we'll be anyway. I don't have my glasses, so I can't do any reading.
That's fine. We'll do the reading on the comment.
But I'm fast and nosy. I always try to read it, and then
I know you do.
then open my eyes. We're not going to talk only about Meghan and Harry.
Of course.
We put that there because obviously we will talk about them. You know, because there's things that we would like to say about the royal family anyway, which obviously then everybody knows the story with Meghan and Harry has been very topical. But now I do also though want to push into the beginning of the title, family lies and secrets, because they're all, you know, they're there.
They're all linked, yeah.
And the problem is that you know, families are very good at pretending about some of the things that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So that's what I really want to talk about. That's where this is all coming from, because you know, people have said, "Oh, Meghan and Harry should have kept their mouths shut." Well, if what she said is true, which you know, more than likely it is, and we'll, like I said, we're going to go talk about some of that in a bit more detail. Why should she keep her mouth shut? Because it's family business. Yeah, it's family business, but it isn't family business. Because here's the thing that I say, and again, you know, each to their own. But when we talk about such people as the royal family, so-called celebrities, pop stars, film stars, you know, people who are on TV, media, etc. You know, those kind of people. You know, famous people like me. You know, my contemporaries. You know. So when you talk about people like that, the thing is this: that they've decided to put themselves out there in the public eye, in the public view. They put all because there are, you know, not just because of the money situation. There are many, what do you call it, millionaires and billionaires who people don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't even know their name.
Chinese ones, Indian ones, even European and American and so forth. And why don't people know anything? Because they don't push themselves out there up people's nose. So here's the thing, you know, they're not trying to be on TV, they're not trying to be in the limelight. So their family business stays pretty much quite well private and so on. Now, if you decide that you are going to be out there, you want this very, very public image, you want people to see you, look at you, like you, adore you, look at your Instagram, your Facebook, and, you know, all this type of stuff. Well, then they're going to look.
And they're going to,
you know, and they're going to say whatever they want to say. So this is part of the problem that, you know, if you're out there that way, what do you say? What do you do? So before we even get to Meghan and Harry and the royal family, let's talk about Kirk Franklin. So for the Christian fraternity, you know, everybody in the Christian fraternity, they know Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
You might not know him personally, but you definitely know his music and you know about him. Now, there's two different things I want to talk about where Brother Kirk is concerned. So let's talk first of all about him cussing out his son.
Mm.
That son is 32 years old, so he's a big man. He knows that he can record his father and it will go viral because Kirk Franklin is an internationally known musician, recording artist, TV host, etc.
Yeah.
And a Christian one at that. So that little demon of a son knew exactly what he was doing right from the beginning. So here we are now. Let's talk about this in the context of family lies and secrets. So is Kirk's son from a previous relationship before he's married to his wife that he's with now. You know, that's normal. But the guy is 32. He's not a small kid.
Yeah.
And he's got no manners. And, you know, and if you know the history, you will know that they've had very, very difficult relationship. And now some people will be like, well, we don't care. We don't know anything about that. But that's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
You actually don't know them because you're only looking at the fact Kirk Franklin was recorded cussing out his son using some big, you know, A-class verbosity. Let's put it that way. And everybody knows what I mean because those who heard it, they know. So he was using A-class verbosity to tell his son what color he thought he was and so on and so forth. It's his son. You don't know some of the things that have gone on between those two guys. And this is the thing, because as far as people are concerned, they have a right to comment because, you know, it's in the public eye. So we can comment if we want to because, well, you know, his son recorded it and it's now public and he's wrong. He's a Christian and he swore and he cussed him out and told him he'll kill him. First of all, the man lost his temper, we know. If you ask me, do I believe that he actually would kill his son? No. I don't think so.
Of course not.
But having said that, the man was angry enough because his son provoked him, and he probably provoked him because he wanted to record him.
Yeah.
You know? But you're talking about a 32-year-old man who's telling his dad, give me money, look after me, blah, blah, blah. No, go and look after yourself, man.
Exactly.
Right? And he's, you know, and he's not stopping from that. So they're having their own issues, personal issues that people are now trying to throw out into the public and all commentating, now Kirk Franklin is this and Kirk Franklin is that. No, Kirk Franklin was being a father who was cheesed off, and I'm using a nice word, you know, because of a rude, disrespectful son who at his big size and age should know better. Now, people can say what they want. Oh, well, that wasn't very Christianly, blah, 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 blah. Please shut up. I'm saying it straight. Shut up. Because if I was Kirk Franklin, I would have got in my car and gone to my man's yard. Trust me, my two daughters are here. They know me. I would have got in my car and driven to his house. Or if it was further than that, and especially if I was Kirk Franklin and I had to jump in a plane, I'm going in a plane and I'm going to his yard. And then I'll see what he's got to tell me with those cuss words that he used to his father.
Because he used them as well.
And I want to see how many of them he's using when I reach his yard. And whether you like it or not, if it's me, I'll bust his lip. Straight, I'm telling you. Record me.
But this is the problem now.
Record my name.
People seem to think you shouldn't be able to tell your child anything. But yet, when he's disrespecting and being rude to his dad,
it's okay.
That's okay.
Because you see what he told,
what
he said. Part. He turned around in that recording. He said to his dad, "I'm grown. What are you saying? I'm grown. We already know you're grown. You're 32, so of course you're grown."
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, why are you talking to him like that?
Exactly. If you're grown, you should understand manners and respect.
Whether
you're angry or not, you still have to have a level of respect.
My dad died at 94, man. 93, 94. Never, not even once can his mouth disrespect him. And it's not because I haven't seen anything that I could talk about. I questioned him on some things. As an adult, I questioned him. Why have you done that? Why have you got this? What are you doing with that? But I left it like that. And if he said, mind your business, guess what I did? Mind your business. Okay. If he said, shut your mouth, guess what I did? See? And that's it. My dad had an argument with a young guy. Well, I say young, the guy was probably about 40. So he's young to my dad. Yeah. Guy had an argument with my dad, and I was just listening. And I said, you know what? And I actually could see to an extent where that guy was coming from with his argument, but he got rude and disrespectful. So I had to step in and tell the man, if you open your mouth and say one more thing, whether my dad is right or wrong or not, I'm going to kick off your head. Straight.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a doormat.
But that's what I'm saying.
So plain and simple, you got to get that.
Putting this narrative out that if you're a Christian, you're not human. You shouldn't be able to tell anyone when they're doing wrong to you, or do you know what I mean? No, because I think people are getting that turn the other cheek in the wrong context. Yes, turn the other cheek means if somebody is doing something to purposely try to provoke you or whatever, you have to try to turn the other cheek and to say, you know what? No, I'm not even reacting to that situation.
That's right.
I'm ignoring it.
And remember, as you can see, sorry to cut into you, Tamar, but you understand, right? This is my blood, so you know how it goes.
Exactly.
Right? Inside my veins is not peanut butter.
Exactly.
That's where we come from.
Yeah. So why are we gonna? You're not gonna allow someone to just chat rubbish and you just sit down and be quiet, because at the end of the day, if we're talking about Christianity and being Christians, Jesus wasn't sitting down and shutting up.
No, he did not.
When they were saying things,
he did not, and he did intervene physically.
Yes,
as well. We know of. Remember, the Bible itself tells us that not everything he did is in there, right? We've got one particular story of where he intervened with physical means.
Yeah.
If he did it once, you can know he's done it more than once.
You already know. That was just to show you that he
could do that. So don't fool yourself.
Exactly.
Oh, Kirk Franklin should let his son talk to him anyhow. No, man.
Because I know if Jesus had a son, he wouldn't be allowed.
No, I know. Me, I bust his lip.
Exactly.
Kirk Franklin is good. He's good. He's all right.
All he did was cuss him off.
Because okay, he apologized because he said, and he didn't have a choice, because at the end of the day, he's trying to maintain his money and this and that, and his image, because people are cussed. Oh, he should have said nothing. Blah blah blah. He said what he said because now we've all gone inside his family business. You see, when they're not in the scenario, and that's what I'm saying, because all of a sudden everybody's gone inside his family business, but they don't know all of his family business. They've got a little snapshot. Boom.
Yeah. How do you know that son hasn't been bringing him every day, wanking up himself, and he just had enough?
They've got a family therapist, so they've got some serious stuff going on.
Yeah,
which has been for years, family therapy and all this kind of stuff. Now, to be fair, we don't even need to get into that and push our nose into it. But having said that, here's the thing: we said our title is Family Lies and Secrets, and then of course we put the bit about Harry and Meghan, because we're going to talk about them. That's kind of fueled why we're talking about this. But here we go. Half of these families who have jumped up and said this and said that, it's only because theirs are not exposed.
Exactly.
You see?
Put the camera in everyone's yard and let's see what's happening.
How many families listen to this? And this I know. Growing up as a child, if I turned around and said to you that I knew more than one or two families where there were paedophiles who were protected, and when I say more than one or two, I mean more than one or two, right? And where I grew up is not some massive city, right? But amongst the black community, then let's talk about them first, because we know it's in every community. But let's talk about the so-called black community as society calls it. We call them brown people, but people of color.
Yeah.
Within those communities, African Afro-Caribbean and so forth, I know of more than a few families where paedophiles were protected.
Yeah.
And those paedophiles have been and were protected even until the day they died. Some of them, who I can think of right now, I'm thinking about, they're still even alive until today. And they've not been prosecuted. Nobody's had any more to say about it. And many people know, especially and particularly people in the families. Right?
So been silence.
And some of them were Christians as well.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And still, there's nothing they've said, and there's nothing they're doing. Now, you see, Kirk Franklin, for example, they've gone to the right place. They've gone to family therapy, and they've tried to, iron out some of their issues at that level with a professional. But it's been and obviously, if there was a certain level of abuse that needed, intervention of, let's say, the criminal justice system, etc., it would have happened.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, that there are many so-called Christians who have had stuff going on in their families where there is definitely a need for intervention of the criminal justice system, and it's not happening.
Yeah, nobody's
it's not happening
or telling anything
because it's all secretive, and everybody's so they're leaving their,
and even the victim is hushed.
They're leaving their daughters to be abused. You know. Listen, I know a particular case. There was a young lady. She was abused by her father, and he allowed her brothers, or in fact, he taught her brothers to abuse her. She left. She ran away from home. Let's say, went to a Christian family. At least the woman was a Christian, the man wasn't. She went into that household, and that man now also began to abuse that young lady. And the wife, I didn't know anything about it. She knew.
How can
and here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm saying, and this is from my perspective, because I know these people and knew them extremely well. Even if she were to say that she didn't know, and that young lady who I'm talking about wasn't the only young lady that particular man had sexually abused. She is one of. But even if she wasn't sure, when you have brought into your home a young lady who has already been sexually abused by several men somewhere else, that's a vulnerable young lady. Even if you turned it around and said, oh, well, maybe she's a bit of a flirt, or she's this or she's that, we know that there are all those kind of behaviors can come out of the abuses that's happened in the past. She may have an irregular type of behavior towards males because of whatever's gone on. But you as a woman, and especially now as these wonderful Christian loudmouth people, you should have been watching her like a hawk. You should have been her bodyguard. That nobody should have been able to get near.
Not her, even your husband
at any time.
No man or anyone close.
Never.
Yeah, you should have just been the primary carer for her, and that's it.
And she should have been teaching that young lady, what I call some road sense. Because at the end of the day, these guys are grown, but who taught them the road sense that they have? And let a man, if he's mad, come and talk rubbish. Yeah, you see, my hat is ready for him. Come and talk rubbish if you're mad. No, and that they can look after themselves already, but they don't even have to. I'm not dead, so they only have to tell me.
Exactly.
They only have to tell me. And you see, this is the thing. Oh, we're Christian. Christian what?
Exactly.
No.
They're not even coming like a person anymore. They're just a demon.
Because they're doing them things. I can tell you now. I can't even read that, so you guys will have to read it.
Should have been put in place to protect the young lady.
I'm telling you. And she went through. I mean, I can't even say I don't want to chat people's business, but
But
she went. Listen, she went through such mess in a going to a Christian mother. a woman who was at a what? How would you put? I'm trying to even find the right wording for it. An upstanding person in the community, you know, in our community, who should have been trusted. That when she's gone to that family now, irrespective of the husband wasn't a Christian, but she went there because of the lady, so she should have been protected. And now this, you know, these are the people in church, you know, where is it freezing? Oh, well, it would, because the subject is too hot for
it's hot, isn't it?
You know, but these are the ones where you know they're going into such families being abused, and these are Christians, and they're keeping quiet. You see, they're acting like, you know, if you knew the amount of abuse that there is amongst Christian people. You see, I mean, we're gonna obviously, like I said, it's not the only thing we're talking about, but I had to start here because I call it starting at home, if you like, you know, and this is home. In our own community, we're talking, and we are, you know, Christian people of color, so that's where we start.
But this is what gives people the fuel to leave the church, and to hate the church, and to hate, and to say, oh, look at how you don't even protect your own walk, you don't even
Christianity because of these things.
Yes,
that's right,
exactly. Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something. When I was a youth, I used to go up and down with the church minibus. I wasn't the driver. I was like the what did the guy call me? I was the chaperone.
Oh, that's it.
For the driver.
What they call them drivers?
Yeah, so there was two different drivers that I can think of. I'm not naming names or times or anything, so that if anybody is listening, they try to work out which time period. And I know the people, and we know the people. Yeah, exactly. You see me? Certain people will try to work out exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm not. But I was chaperone for more than one driver. Now, those guys, they knew why they had to have me. Now, here's what I'm saying, because those ones, they made sure that they had somebody in the minibus with them. So when they're going around picking up people's children and young people and so forth, especially and particularly young ladies, they're chaperone.
Yeah.
Now I know of another driver who used to just go around by himself, Christian, picking up young people, young girls, young ladies, young women, but he's bringing them to church for, you know, meetings, or he's dropping them home afterwards. Now, you don't know already what I'm going to say next. Of how many of them that man has sexually abused. Now, according to him, in his thinking, it's not sexual abuse, right? Because this particular person I'm talking about, this particular Christian man, he didn't pick anybody who was underage. He picked people who were of age, you know, above the age of consent for sex. So but the bit that's missing is that he groomed and molested them. And what we fail to talk about, we don't like talking about it, right? And I will talk about it, is that there is too much of this going on, especially in our community, in churches and stuff like that. It's been going on for years and it's never stopped. You know?
There's a comment.
Go on.
It says, speak it from it's the truth, it needs to be highlighted. Our so-called Christian brothers and sisters turned on and secret agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true.
I'm telling you, some of these dirty deacons and others back there, oh, I'm dropping home so and so. And he knows very well, you know, you've got, and listen, you know, this is the biggest problem that we have. And I pray and hope that other people will come to this live later and watch this. And even if anybody's on now, send this to some of these Christian people and let them hear what I'm saying. Because I'm telling you this, we know for sure there's a lot of single mothers particularly within churches, lots of them come there as single mothers.
Mhm.
There's more women in church than men anyway.
Yeah.
Whichever one, whether it's white church, brown people's church,
Mhm. All of them.
mixed or any, all of them have more females in there than males.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind that, but I'm not even going to get into that right now because that's not really, that's a whole nother show, right, in itself. But let me say this, which is an issue. These guys, a lot, the young men, particularly in those families, they need, a role model. They need a father figure. They need maybe a guy just to come in and say, look, as a young man, this is what I did, and blah blah blah. All of that. So what we then have is that you have some of these men now pretending. Yeah, Christian men are good for that. Many of them pretending that they're playing that role. So they're visiting, but they're not really visiting the family. They're going because they're trying to visit something else.
Yeah.
Right? So they're turning up at the woman's yard. They know no man is there. So they turn up there when they feel like, because oh, she's single. Because they already know if they turn up at another man's house and there's a man there, they're gonna get a brick in their head one day. You understand?
Why are you turning up here?
Right? You're just turning up every minute. They know that already. But now because they know, oh yeah, so they turn up. And then and they leave. And if they once they get to know even the routine of the woman, they'll know. Oh yeah, at this time she'll be up. She won't even have gone to the shower yet, so she'll be in her night dress. Bam! They turn up at her yard. They'll be there, and they know what they're trying.
Oh, I've just bought a bit of shopping and all them things there.
But now when they've finished, when they've now ended up messing around with that woman. And there's some that will mess around with the woman and even her daughters. And I'm saying Christians, right? I'm not taking back one word of what I'm saying because it's happening. They'll mess around with her and her daughters. And then when they're done with that, when they're finished, they've had enough of that, they move on to somewhere else and leave them stranded. You see? And then now all that trauma and everything, who's helping them to heal?
Yeah.
Because some of them will be the same people who are the leaders in there, grinning their teeth at them when they come to that church.
Yeah.
It's a problem. And you see all that. Some churches even know. And it gets swept underneath the carpet. Because
they might even try to report.
Because, we don't want them to go to jail, blah, blah, blah. And it's a very heavy thing to deal with. So they sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah. Oh, it will be fine. You'll be all right. Just we'll just keep you away from him.
Just pray.
Yeah, just pray to God and he'll sort it out. And then the person is thinking, so I've been abused and nobody cares. No one's doing anything. I'm leaving this church in general as well, yeah. And that's the thing, I think the church. Exactly. Exactly. Instead of to tell people, why is it this thing doing it?
Is it freezing?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's all right now. Yeah, instead of to tell people.
Oh yeah, mine is.
Do you know what I mean? What the right steps are, what to actually do. Because they're saying because I saw this thing and it said, about men should be put on a curfew.
Oh yes.
You see men like them. No, but it's true though, because when you're in the church and somebody's done that to somebody else, then now they're coming back to church. Say if they're the girl or whatever, the young person has reported it, and then they're coming back to church, and the person is up on the stage reading the prayer or reading the scripture, or being the usher. Everything is normal and like nothing has happened.
And of course, because we're church oriented people and so forth.
Yeah.
You'll have some people now will be pointing out why are they bashing at the church and all this. Well, because we know church.
Yeah.
I've known church, from 5 years old, until now. So I know church and I know what goes on. And I know a lot of, and this one here was carried in that, what do you call that thing?
What is it? Oh, the
the thing where what do they call it?
Where
the babies sit there in front of you.
Thing. That's
the
it. Yeah, the sling
thing.
Yeah.
She used to be in there because she was just troublesome, believe it or not.
I was not.
And she'd be in there, and I'd have a microphone in the other hand and be preaching, and I'm carrying her here. So she knows church, because that's where she was, right here, while I'm speaking on the mic. Well, in fact, I think, but by them times sometimes there was no mic use. You just talking without the mic. But I'm talking over her, making noise. But my
For real, acting and carrying on like nothing is happening. Yeah, that young person or single mother will feel so uneasy and uncomfortable, and even raise the issue of abuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong. I'm not. First of all, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be, guys shouldn't support females or females shouldn't support males within the church setting. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that every time a male member of the church may come and knock on a single female's door that it means that he's trying it. And even if he's single and she's single and he likes her, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about
abuse.
Predators.
Yeah.
Let's call them what they are.
Predators.
Predators who are going out of their way, preying on women, and also the women do it the other way around. Because we don't often talk about it's easy for us to talk about the abuse of the men towards the women.
Yeah.
But the one that is literally never talked about, especially in our community, we who look like this, is the women abusing males.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it. And again, because I've been around long enough, I know a whole heap of stories, church and otherwise, of the females abusing the males.
Yeah. Because even young boys, this older lady did this and that to me, and I didn't, and they don't understand it. Sometimes the young boys, they don't understand it's abuse.
Yeah,
and all these things because they're
groomed
and all this stuff.
They've been groomed.
Comes from one side.
They just think it's a bit of fun anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like,
it's some woman. Yeah, she wants me.
I'm telling you, and again, we're just picking on one part of it, but our communities don't deal with these things the way that they should. And it's been like that from old, and even until now. This whole thing with family lies and secrets. There are people I know of that they're questioning. In fact, let me talk about my own family. Just one example. I spoke to a nephew of mine just the other day, last week, and he said, just a few weeks ago, he asked his father yet again. He asked his father, "Do you have any other children that I don't know about?" And he told him, "No. Why are you asking me that?" And you know what he told me? He said that his sister told him, because maybe the father has a bit more confidence in that particular sister. I don't know how to, but he said that the dad was at a market, and this particular woman who has 2 children for him came with the 2 children to the market to look for him. So the lady's coming along with the 2 children to look for him, and then now his daughter is coming in the other direction. Now, when he's seen the woman coming who has his 2 children that nobody's supposed to know about, he ran away.
Oh my God.
He ran away. Now, we say, well, it doesn't really, it's his business, but it's not his business. And especially, okay, maybe in the UK, if people move and you're not all living in the same town or you're not all living in the same sort of locality and things like that, may not be so much of a problem. But the issue that can arise, and often does arise, it's a worldwide known thing, is that your blood calls out to its blood. So you find these siblings who don't know each other, could end up in a relationship.
Yes.
You see, that's the extreme, but it happens because, oh, I don't know why I just like this guy. Oh, I don't know why I just like this lady, probably because you're related.
Yeah.
You see, closely, and it happens. And now when these dads are like, no, I'm not talking about that, you know, and they've you know, they've got children all over the place. There are, I mean, you know, that I'm trying to even think about what I should say and shouldn't say because I know too much. You know, I know of a young lady grown up in church, all of her family grown up in church. Mum and dad were running ministry. All the children were involved in the ministry. And the man, the father, had some dirty, nasty behavior. Let me put it like that. I don't want to go deeper. But now one of the daughters, she had a child, and everybody was asking and asking and asking, who is the father of that child? They've never seen her with any boyfriend. They've never seen her with any man. They've never seen her dating anybody even telling her, psst, nothing. Right? So, and then this pregnancy appears, and boom, she's had a child. And that lady has had unbelievable issues in her life. Now, like I said, the average response to that is, oh, we don't have any proof, blah, blah, blah. And what are you trying to say? Are you saying, are you black? Are you pointing the finger at her dad and this and that? And then it's swept under the carpet.
Yeah, because everybody's like, oh, just never mind. Maybe she just found someone.
That dirty paedophile.
And the dad is now not involved. No.
That dirty paedophile should have gone to jail.
Yes. Straight up, she should have been reporting immediately. I am carrying my father's child.
Preacher or no preacher,
he needs to go to jail.
Should have gone to jail.
Because all it takes is for them to see it. Oh, DNA
and again, I'm telling you about what I know. That's not even the only daughter that he has that he's abused. You know, I was going to New York some years ago from London. Got on the plane, and you know, you don't know before you sit down. You don't know who's going to sit next to you.
Yeah, no, it's always
so. Got on the plane, and this woman sat next to me, and because you know, I didn't think. Obviously, when you're traveling alone, you're traveling alone. You're not going to know. So I've given a side eye like that to see, and I'm like, double took, and I'm like, hey, and she's like, hello. Somebody that I knew from childhood. And I'm like, where are you going? I said, well, obviously New York. Because that's where the plane is going.
For real,
I think it would be nice. Jail is too good for him. He deserves stuff we can't say on this.
Yeah. Things that we cannot say.
And I'm telling you, Nesfield, the man is a preacher.
What still?
What do you mean?
And this is what I'm talking about.
So one of his daughters on the plane sat next to me.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, oh, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Yeah. Because funny enough, she even knows other people in my family because she left the church and you know what I mean went off.
Did her own thing.
You know, and she knows other people in my family who are not Christians. So we got talking, blah 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 blah, and boom, she starts talking about the father. And I'm thinking, she just started unraveling all this information. Now, I know one of the reasons probably why she was unraveling it is because I'm familiar to the family.
Yeah.
You know, I know everybody. You know,
understand.
But I also have a gift to draw people's information out of them.
Yeah. That's what happens to me. I don't even ask them. And they're telling me their life. And I'm thinking, boy, I just asked you like some, you know, how's it going? How's your mum? Oh, well, you know, blah 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 blah.
And they start telling me.
And they tell me everything. Yeah.
But now let me ask a question, and anybody who's watching, please, you can answer this as well, including you too.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody discloses information to you, I mean, even if it's in a roundabout sort of way, and you put 2 and 2 together and make 7, like you do, like we do, yeah, and they've disclosed something to you, but we're talking of somebody who is, not a child. They're of an age where, what would you say, above the age of consent.
Yeah.
And they disclose this, maybe this abuse. What would you do? And they haven't told you, you go and report it to the police, or
they haven't said to you, go and report to the police.
And they're an adult. We talk, so it's not a child thing, because I'm not even going there. If it's a child, I'm not even waiting.
Yeah, of course. There's no discussion.
If I know, and I'm dragging you to the police myself.
It's the spirit of God. You guys have the counselor, so people will want to come and speak to you guys. Yeah, I think so.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what, like in the case though, when they've told you, and if it was you, maybe you might say, get the man put in jail. What are you going to do?
Well, I would ask them what they feel they want to happen. That's what I would do first. I say, so what do you think?
And a lot of them say, allow it.
Well, then I would say, but is it working for you to allow it? Has it been working for all this time in your life? Have you been able to let it go? Have you
obviously
been able
not,
to
otherwise
prosper?
it wouldn't have come out to you just then.
Exactly. And that's the point that I would make. If you feel that it's still dragging you down in your life, then there is no just allow it. You have to do something about it. It has to be done. Because if you can truly, there are some people that things can happen to them and they can let it go, and they just, they don't maybe not internalize it, but they accept that it's maybe part of their life, but they move on. Whereas there are some people that they need justice, or they need to know, that man is not good, or whoever that person is not going to do those things to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So you would have to just make them see that we should encourage them to speak up. And to make them, like, if you do speak up, it doesn't mean you're not going to be heard. You know what I mean? And
I think that's mostly the reason why people don't, because it always becomes did
you do it?
People don't want to relive it through court and talk about the experience.
Exactly.
There's a lot of factors.
Because they'll be thinking, especially if it's like in the church, because you already know how
two people are already not believing you.
Oh no, no one's believing her. You know what she's like, and all those kind of comments will come. Or no one's believing it. What he's saying, she's a nice lady, and all them kind of things. And I know that's what people fear a lot.
And have their own opinions about everything when it comes to everything.
And that's the thing. So I think when it comes to certain things going on in the church, I think, yes, it can be discussed in church, but if it's coming where you're speaking in church, or you're trying to tell the pastor, this is what's happened to me, somebody's done this to me, and it's this person in church, and the pastor is saying, oh, come on, just you know what I mean, just keep it, let's just leave that you need to go to the police immediately and tell them what's happening, and even say, and this person seems to be covering, so I'm not sure if there's even more cases going on there, because that's what I would be saying. You know what I mean? And I know everybody doesn't have the what's the word?
The gumption.
Yeah, everybody doesn't have that.
What about if it's your own family or close friends to you or to your family?
Well, it would make me look at them in a different light in the first place. So what
then are you going to do with the information? Wait a minute, let me put it in a real good context, because we have our preferred view, and then we have the reality. I'm talking if it's in a situation where this could be something that now, if it's disclosed, it may actually mess up the whole structure of the family. Because things that people thought were one way, they're going to find out that It's not like that.
Like that.
Children who they thought belonged to one person,
You
know, because I know stories like that where, you know, a child has belonged to you know, the child who's growing up with someone. This is my sister.
It's really their mum.
It's their mum.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. And this is my grandfather, and it's really their father. You know, there I know cases like that, and Christians as well. Now, in some cases it's remained as rumors for you know, throughout. It's never become
fact,
concrete evidence, because nobody has come forward and said, look, it's but they know. Now my question, or question if you like, or statement, is in a case like that where, you know, it would unravel the whole family. What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? I know of a case right now where the man had abused his daughter until she was pregnant, and she then had the child.
Alexander said when I spoke up about a situation, I was called the devil, and that I need deliverance.
You see, and
but of course, but you see. Okay, go on.
Own family, question mark. I tell you the truth, when we don't deal with him, it's going to send shockwaves in generations to come, because man no plays certain games.
Yeah, man not play certain games. Yeah, of course. I get it.
Still report the damage.
Yeah, you see, you know, I mean, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm talking. You know, I'm raveling through my mind of real cases, real live cases, and I'm putting it out to people so that I can hear what you're saying, and then we're like saying what we're telling people. Listen, what maybe it was dealt with this way in the past, but this is the way it should be dealt with.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying it, because, like I said, I know the case. Preacher messed around with how much of his daughters. You know, not even just one. Nobody reported it. One of the daughters of that preacher, definitely, that child is that man's child. I'm telling you, nobody's reported it. Nothing has been done. You know, and it's just, and the girls are messed up.
Of course.
You know, messed up personality, messed up in their spirit, messed up in their mind. You know, nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
I know, like I've just mentioned of a case, the man made his daughter pregnant. The wife is a Christian, the man is not a Christian. So it's as though that was used as the excuse to sweep it under the carpet. Because he's a hog, because he's a drunkard. You see me? And he's not, and that was the sort of the reasoning and the excuse for it, because and so it is. But that big old dirty family secret sits there revolving around. And as we know, for Christians, these type of things bring generational curses.
Yes.
Which, okay, I'm not going to get into all the preaching and teaching of that, but I'm just saying that we as a community, we sweep too many of these things and put them underneath the carpet, and that's got to stop, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of messed up people because of it.
Yeah. Nesfield has written a comment here.
Yes, please, go
on. I know a lot of things like that, especially in the Caribbean households, where you think it is your sister, is your mother, and is your brother, is your father, and things like that. It simply must be exposed. Our people have become too accustomed to secrets. It must stop.
Yeah.
And Sarah says some people keep quiet, and sometimes things are inherited as generational curses and continue to destroy the families.
That's right.
And
this is the thing that
that spirit continues.
If anything we do through this live today is just to educate people, to open your eyes, and not just open your eyes, take action.
Yeah.
Take action.
Yeah.
Because
even if you don't want to oh, you're worried about telling the police, then you need to. It's what needs to be happening is family meeting immediately.
Yeah.
For everyone. Everybody needs to be there. Family meeting. This is what I think is going on, and you'll know because if it's not, people will react. People will only react in one or two ways, and it's one where you will know. Okay, I was wrong. Maybe I was seeing something. I was being extra. Nothing is happening. Or two, they will react in a way where you know, confirmation, it was happening.
Yeah. But you see, Alison made a point there.
Yeah.
That often happens.
Yeah.
Especially, amongst Jamaican families. Nesfield will know the same story.
Yeah.
You will talk up something. Maybe you'll talk about whoever it is, granddad, grandfather, uncle, or whoever, and it's not just females, but mainly it's the females, and they'll be cut down.
Yeah.
You know,
no, you don't know what you're talking about.
I know of cases where young girls have talked. So and so in the family has been touching me up, or even worse, has even had sex with them.
Yeah.
And they will talk, and the young lady will be expelled from the house. Because
they
say no, you are the one.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if they know that it's happened, and they can say, okay, we know it happened, they'll turn it around and say you are, you enticed him, you're a Jezebel,
yeah,
and all these type of things.
You know what you were doing and all those comments.
And this has been one of the reasons why then, there's a reluctance to speak up.
Because people what will happen is somebody else has spoken, maybe their friend, or this is in the past, maybe their friend or their cousin or somebody has said, that uncle did this to me, and maybe he's done it to somebody else, and when they've seen what's happened to that girl, now they thought, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking for everybody to not to ridicule me and make me an outcast, like it's my fault what happened to me.
Even worse, you're marrying your own sister or brother and you have no idea.
Exactly. It happens. Yeah. Especially in the Caribbean. It happens. Yes. Because and the reason why I'm saying especially in the Caribbean, it's not that I'm trying to say that there are more paedophiles there, but the proximity of people, they're smaller.
Yeah.
Because
there's
less
a small
people.
island, or you know what I mean, and a lot of the time they don't really move far off.
That's right. So they're marrying somebody who's in the town or the village where they are.
Yeah.
If you're in somewhere, where there's 67 million people,
it's more unlikely.
It's more unlikely.
Yeah.
But you're in a place, where there's a few thousand. You're gonna even when you're marrying somebody, if somebody could be even a distant cousin.
Yeah.
Still,
yeah.
Which is kind of okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, that's a different
it's
thing.
not your sister.
Exactly.
Or your first cousin.
Yeah, exactly. It's not your sister, your
but
first
the thing is that these things,
whatever.
Even going a little further, because like I asked the question about what you would, encourage people to do or stuff like that. There's a lady who sat with me and showed me a whole bunch of stuff that by the time she finished telling me all that stuff, I lost my temper because I knew the person who she's talking about. And I said to her, listen, I said, you don't say another word. Me, I'm going to go and brush him up. I'm going to go and get my baseball bat now. Right? Because the first thing I asked her, I didn't immediately come to that conclusion, by the way. But the first thing I asked her, I said, will you report him?
Yeah. And
she said no. And I said, why not? She refused. And now her setting was like this. She they had a shop, and they are the husband is a Pakistani. She's English. Really, Facebook is blocking me from talking.
Yeah, you know why?
I'll start my story again.
Yeah, start the story again because they're playing games today.
So it froze me. So I don't know. it froze me, so I'm not sure what people heard. So I'm going to start my story over. You know, the lady was a Pakistani lady. The husband is Pakistani. They had a shop. A so-called family friend of the husband, used to come to the shop all the time. And basically, how it was, you'd go in the shop, you walk through to the back of the shop, and you go upstairs, and they were living, upstairs in all the rooms and everything there.
Yeah.
So
shop on the bottom, house on the top. Yeah.
So anybody who was coming, they'll come through like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he would just turn up because obviously the shop would be open in the daytime.
Yeah.
And he'd just come visit the family, so to speak. Yeah. And the woman said what used to happen, he'd be staying back. Mm-hmm. So if the husband had now gone downstairs or something, he'd be staying back upstairs and start feeding her up. Then he went from that to now turning up when he knew the man wasn't there at all and raping her. And she's not saying anything. You see? Nothing at all. And here's the thing about the generational bit that Christians will get me straight away. Others maybe not. She didn't say anything about it because she told me that she had seen, when she was growing up, her mother was abused. She'd seen it with her own eyes. Her mother was beaten and basically beaten until she died. She herself was taken out of school. She was told to marry somebody at 14 and she refused. She was beaten and locked in the cellar. And this is in England, by the way, in England. Then she was then told to work in the shop and she was never allowed to go back to school. So she was taken out of school at 14 and she was never allowed back to school. So at 16, they brought another man for her to marry and she agreed and she married him. You see? And these are the type of things. Now, when she told me all of that, as you can imagine, I felt like I was being cut with a knife.
Mm.
And I said to her, and the person who she was talking about, I said, I know this man. He drives taxis. Me, I want to go and look for him and help him to find his maker very quickly. Or at least be talking to him if he doesn't go there. Anyway, I'm putting it in nice words, I hope. I'm trying to put it to say it nicely, but and she, no, don't you dare say anything. Don't you dare do anything. Don't, just no. And this is the other side of the coin that you've got to understand, because those people who will just absolutely flatly refuse for any intervention or any support or anything, you tell me what you think you can do.
But that's mostly based off of fear anyway.
Fear and shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's comments on YouTube here.
Oh. Go on.
Oh, there's quite a few actually. Read them. Let's see what's going on.
What's YouTube crew saying?
Markle has never gotten along with anyone long term in her life, not even her own family. The only common denominator is Markle herself. It says the Meghan Markle / Prince Harry divorce will be epic. For Meghan Markle, her marriage was like landing a dream job. Then a couple of years later, demanding half ownership in the business that hired her. Family law overwhelmingly favours women. A recent Brookings Institute poll shows women initiate 84% of divorce. And it says, by the way, I'm a woman and an attorney.
Okay.
Interesting comment.
Okay.
Very interesting. We're not even on that topic.
I know. We were coming to that now.
Yeah.
And that's good because you've just pushed me along to that point. Because I was like thinking, let's not do more than an hour on this one because it's very heavy.
Yeah, it is.
So that's it. That's where we're at with that. And I could go on for and this subject we're going to return to it because in a different way, because I want to say more about some of this stuff that's going on in the families. There's much more to be said,
Definitely.
But now this issue with Harry and Meghan and the royal family thing, because it's all still part and parcel of what we're talking about.
Yes, it is.
Family lies and secrets.
Yes.
Now, this lady on YouTube has mentioned about Meghan, and yes, I personally believe that Meghan is a narcissist.
Oh yes.
Right? She is a
Mm.
narcissist. There's no
It's
argument
all
about that. She's very much all about Meghan, and what Meghan wants, Meghan will get, including getting Harry.
Yes.
Harry, whether he's a royal or not, he's a nice guy. Now, when I say whether he's a royal or not,
we're talking about his blood.
Right? Some people want to get what I mean. Tamar's clarified it. Yeah, we're talking about his blood because we're saying, right, and I'm saying it, I'm going on record and saying it, that he might not be. That's all I'm going to say. Google, go and have a look, study for yourself, and work it out for yourself. You'll get my point. He may not be of that bloodline.
Yes.
And that may be part of the reasoning behind why they're not, they were like, okay, you're going to go then.
Yeah.
You see, you want to marry somebody that's got a bit of color in them, go
ahead, do what you're doing,
because you're not our bloodline.
Yeah.
Having said that, that's something for those who don't know more. You go and
have your research.
You go and research and check it out.
Enjoy having a
you'll indeed they will enjoy it. So my point now, I agree. Yes, Meghan did all of that. What she did for her own purposes.
Yes.
She's a narcissist. She is a witch.
Yes.
That's what I'm
saying. Let's get that one out there.
Let me say it nice and slowly for the the cameras. Meghan Markle is a witch.
Yep.
Witch. She is a witch. That's what I'm saying.
Because I told you that lady. Yeah, exactly.
If you want the evidence is there.
A witch.
Right? Tamar may tell you a little bit. So there you are.
I'll tell you. Yeah, this lady. She was because I've obviously, you lot already know, I look into a lot of things. So I'm looking at things that are not what people would say, oh, you're Christian, you shouldn't be watching these people's lives and you shouldn't be looking at these people. But I looked into this lady who was a witch, self-confessed witch on Instagram. She's showing all her witchcraft and all her, her spell books and her candles and everything. And she went on a live, right, like what we're doing, with another lady, and they were talking, and it was like, oh, clearly God was guiding me anyway, because for some reason I just thought, oh, boom, I just clicked onto it. And then they're talking, and the lady's saying, yes, because Meghan Markle is actually a witch as well. And I thought, why? What is this? So I carried on watching, and the lady was
like
saying,
Oprah.
Yes, exactly. And that's where the friendship has come from.
Because they're two witches together.
Yeah. So the lady
They're
was
on the
saying,
frequency.
oh, yes, Meghan is a witch. It's bloodline. You know what I mean? It's from her bloodline. She's a bloodline witch. Yeah. She's grown up in it and all of this and that. At one point in time, there was a battle for who was to become the empress. The empress, like the supreme empress or whatever. The high witch, because I'm guessing Marina Abramovich is on her way out. Yes. Yeah. So now they're trying to find who will be the next supreme witch. Because she's old now. Old. Yeah. She may look young, but she's old.
She's been drinking babies for a long time.
Yes.
But obviously it's wearing off now.
Mm-hmm. So because she's on her way out, they're looking for the next supreme. Yeah. So what was happening? The lady was saying that they were having battles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Her and Beyonce were in running for who's going to be next in line to be the supreme witch of the world. And Meghan lost. Yes, Meghan lost. And look what has happened just in this past few days or week, maybe let's say. Last week, Meghan is being ridiculed and she's going on record to talk about all the bad things that happened to her. This week, Beyonce is being praised for getting the most Grammys of a female artist ever. I don't think that's coincidence, do you?
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, it will be to the uneducated.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Or to the ones who what do they call it? Ostrich that buried their head in the sand. To the ostrich. The ostrich people, they won't get it. because they're going to say, "Oh, those are just conspiracy theories."
Yeah, of course they
You
are.
know, everything that they don't want you to know about
Conspiracy
becomes a
But what I
conspiracy
would like to know
theory.
is these people calling things conspiracy theories.
Where
Have you
did that come
researched
from?
what that means?
Where
Where
did
did it come
where
from?
did that what term come from?
Yeah, where did it come from?
It was made by them.
Yes,
Go and have a look, and you'll see
because
it.
there are no conspiracy
No,
theories.
there's not.
But the thing is that those people who are calling things conspiracy theories,
They're missing
they're missing the point because it's just easy to dismiss.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever nonsense, boom, and dismiss it.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing: when you look at that thing about the royal family,
Yeah.
Meghan, you know, because we're all people of color, so it's not like we're not getting that point.
Of course, we are getting that.
You know, all this thing.
Plug it. Oh no, it's not even low.
Well, that's what I just was looking at, but every time I look over, it keeps getting darker.
Yeah, it
And
is,
now
yeah.
it's gone lighter.
Mm.
YouTube are trying to thing,
Mm-hmm. People, whoever wants
but
to
they
watch
can
is
hear
what, you know.
anyway. As look, they can hear, so
They
that's
can
good
hear.
enough.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's gone lighter now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the thing is this, that when you think of the reasoning behind why Meghan decided to marry, now, okay, let's put this in its real perspective. Many people are going to jump straight to the obvious. Listen, they got married because it was a fairy tale.
Yeah.
You know, the prince, and
The pauper.
well, you know, she
She's
wasn't
not
a
a
pauper
pauper,
anyway. But
to them, she,
you know, I was like the prince and the witch.
yeah, the
you know,
prince and the witch.
It's a fairy tale
Mhm.
that you know they met each other and they fell in love.
Yeah.
Bam. Listen, that
It don't
sounds
work
very
like that.
nice.
It sounds nice.
When you've watched them and they're talking, and you know, you see them, they're holding hands there nicely, and they're doing all the things that look the part, and they're doing all the things that they're supposed to do, and they're even saying what they're supposed to say. Now, I'm not saying that maybe from Harry's perspective, he doesn't love her. Yes,
he may love her.
and he may genuinely want to be with her the way that he is. That's not the thing that's in dispute. This is not really so much about Harry.
No,
It's more about Meghan. You know.
They've constructed the term conspiracy theorists in the US after President JFK's assassination. Yes, to dispel truth seekers asking questions about the events surrounding and leading up to his death.
Boom.
And anytime they use that conspiracy theorist talk, it's for that reason, because they don't want you to know things.
Mm-hmm. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. So they want to relegate it to that because they're telling you shut up.
Yeah,
exactly.
And stop looking.
Yeah. This is how it goes, and that's it.
But we're not fooled.
No.
Now,
Never.
Meghan made sure.
Yeah.
Because you see, when people look, right, let me unravel a little bit of the wool.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not being pulled over our eyes.
No, yeah.
Right?
Not mine, mate. Not at all.
Meghan made sure that she crossed Harry's path.
Yes.
Who did she use to help her to cross Harry's path?
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan.
The person that everybody hates now.
Piers Morgan now has become a pariah.
Yeah.
In society. But now what people have to understand is that I don't really too rate the man anyway. No. But Piers Morgan is vexed now.
Yeah.
Right? Because let's put it in our term for us, our people. We know that girl has dissed the man.
Yeah.
You see? And Piers Morgan is looking at her and saying, yo,
who
do you think you are?
You was
that you want to disrespect me like that? Nah. That's right. She lives just up the road from Oprah.
You see what I mean?
So
is that another
coincidence? Again, no coincidence.
Another conspiracy.
She was thrown across the path of Harry. You see,
they just happened to meet.
There's some things that I want to unravel, but let's see how we go. We don't want to go. I'm not going to give people too much. Not today, anyway, because it's always
the part 2 of this.
It's always good to hold something. For later. Meghan had a plan that she must become part of the firm. Now, when I mention that term, the firm, some people are going to be wondering, what does he mean? Go look it up. Google or go DuckDuckGo or you know and have a look because maybe Google will mess you around. But look up the firm and you'll understand what I'm talking about. She wanted to be part of the firm. The royal family is like a mafia.
Yes.
Right? And everybody who wants to know, they know that the Queen is the head of the family. Yeah. Right? Now,
she's the dog.
We know. And you see, there's many things. Because, like, if you even ask characteristically, how come? Well, they wouldn't have brown people, especially Caribbean, and particularly
Jamaica. No way
inside that family,
Never.
Because you already know
we can't
unless not even just that, unless the man is a chichi man. Which woman can tell you head of who?
Yeah. It's not happening.
Listen,
that's what I'm saying, because it would be the man.
Listen,
who is actually running the fact? It wouldn't be
head of
like,
who?
Oh, the Queen. It'd be their king.
And at least you see Meghan. You see in that interview when Meghan was saying those things.
What's Harry does?
You know, Meghan is saying, you know, the family. You couldn't do this and you couldn't do that without the Queen's she said no. She said without the approval. She didn't say the Queen's approval. But we know that all of the approval. No, but wait, it's not. But all of the approval, because Meghan is exposed. She's gone there to push it, to push some things out into the public.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's some things that we kind of would understand and know already. But Meghan has gone in there to push those things out to the public and to let you know that the Queen rules like this.
Yeah.
You know, that she's squeezing everybody's cojones.
Yeah. You must do what she says.
And that's it. And what you've got to understand is that is not just a natural power.
No, it's not.
Right? It's not just a physical power that I'm the Queen, so you do as you're told. Because it will be the same.
The blood does not negate God's ordained order.
Yeah, of course. Because otherwise, you know, you'd be saying, well, the Queen said, la 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 la. Like, which Queen? Don't be quiet. But this is what you got to understand. Once they're wrapped up into that bloodline, they come automatically under her authority.
Yes.
You see?
Because there's a hierarchy.
And there's nothing that they can do about it.
No.
Now, Meghan has got her own agenda, and her agenda didn't work the way that she wanted.
You thought she'd be Diana next part two.
Pull herself out of it, you see? So that's why she's for Harry. No. Let's get out of this. Because she wants the freedom. You know, plug it in because I didn't really know what I was trying to say.
Yeah, you keep trying to be dark. Yeah. Let's make sure there's no extra comments.
No, still that's it.
Because I don't really know what it's doing. But and you know the thing is this, that if we look at it and say, well, does Harry love Meghan? Okay, I think he does.
Yeah, I think
does Meghan love Harry?
Yeah. But that just proves the point. Yeah, because I'm not sure, but I'm telling you now,
she's a
calculated person. Because from the time Piers has come out and said that's when I thought, so I see who you are, and I knew from the time she even came into the royal family. I remember thinking, what? The sequel. I remember thinking, what? Why is Meg? Because I knew her in it from that lawyer program.
Oh yes,
Suits. Yeah, because I drilled off that program, so I knew who she was. And immediately, as soon as I saw, I thought, what?
What's she doing
with Harry? This is strange. Yeah, but I just thought,
because you know what?
I just thought it was strange. I didn't know who she was, but I knew she was an actress. So already that was just weird because
you know,
American. Yes. Actress.
Let's put some things out there and let's make it plain.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, none of this will make sense.
Yeah.
What's the difference between William and Harry? There's a huge difference. Absolutely ginormous difference. That's even if they have the same mother and father.
Yes.
There is a ginormous difference between the two of them.
The way that they're raised.
The way that they were raised is different because from the start, they've always told William, you are in line.
Yeah, they raised him for the throne.
You know, he's raised for the throne. Harry was not. Harry, you're royalty, but you're not on the throne. You're not in line.
Yeah.
So they've always been different from that aspect, which is why
he's cutting out.
Which is why they've had.
Can you hear us clearly now, or what?
Who said it keeps cutting out?
Jen. Can you hear us clearly now, or because boy,
they don't like what we're talking about.
We know they'll keep cutting us off because they don't like what we're saying.
Like what we're talking about.
But I'm going to try and get this out and say what I want to say because I just know, you know, I hope that people can hear us all right. You know, keep an eye on it for me if it starts.
Yeah, Sarah said yes.
Yeah, so if it locks again, we'll just, you know, we'll refresh from here. That's why I always like to watch it.
Yeah.
So I can refresh it from here, and then whatever I didn't say, I repeat.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you. I mean, this might be you say this is John Chambers' opinion. That's fine, but you know, there's some facts behind it.
Yeah. We can hear you loud and clear from Nairobi.
Yeah. See what Jen said exactly. The topic is too deep.
Yeah.
For real.
I'm telling you. You know the real issue, right, with all of this is that they know what they're doing with the bloodline.
Yeah.
They've protected the bloodline with William.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and that's why I said we may come back to this whole thing and speak about that in a bit more depth. I don't want to go too deep into that today about the bloodline.
Yeah, I think we should touch on.
You know, but we want to stick on the Harry and Meghan side of it.
Yeah.
They've looked and they said, well, okay, even if he's, you know, part of the bloodline, he's not getting on the throne.
Yeah.
He's part of the royal family and he's got a part to play. And they would have allowed him to play that part if he would cooperate with with their rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
From what we know of Harry anyway, in general, he wasn't interested in cooperating with their rules and regulations. And that was even before Meghan.
Even from small, he
never That's right.
Yeah.
So now when Meghan comes into the picture,
she's lighting the fire.
It's like lighting fire. And again, because she had an agenda, she will have already targeted Harry because of that exact thing. Yeah. And she knew very well it's impossible for her to get to William because they're not going to have a person with even 1% of brown blood in them coming anywhere smelling near them.
Yep.
Because that's why they killed Diana.
We can pretend all we want that that's not the truth.
Do I need the source protection?
Yes, we're coming. Sarah, I am protected by the blood of Jesus Christ. From the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. That's the sole of my feet, by the way. Just in case you didn't know. I'm protected by the blood of Jesus. All right, so I fear no man.
Exactly.
And my children also.
You lot are too much.
My girls also are protected by the blood of Jesus.
Exactly.
But we're going to talk the truth because the truth is necessary.
There's a reason it comes to
They knew. Meghan, you must be joking. Her blood in their life now.
No.
It wasn't going to happen.
The only reason she got close in the first place is because
YouTube, you think you're funny, but
I know. Darkening up, whatever. The reason that she was even able to even be near them or sniff around that area in the first place is because of her father.
It's because she's a bloodline witch.
Yes.
And that's the bit that people are missing. Because you're wondering, everybody's jumping. You see, everything has happened. Black Lives Matter. And then all of a sudden, boom, up jumps Meghan.
And she's been silent.
They're racist.
They're this.
Like it's new information.
They're that. They would have treated me badly. And all these things. Listen, let's have it right.
Yeah. You knew that.
You knew
were
that
Of course.
before you ever told Harry hello. You already knew. You know, so-called royals are extremely protective of their bloodline and their family.
Yes.
And they know why. And we all know why. And like I said, maybe we'll return to this subject with a bit more information on that.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that they're extremely protective. They also know that those are white people and they don't want anybody who they call black in their family. So even Meghan with her white skin,
she
right?
still has the blood.
She's got the blood.
And they're worried
and they
about
don't
any
want that.
Coming.
Yeah,
that's
why they were saying.
Oh,
What colour is gonna come out?
That is exactly why they were saying, what colour is he going to be? Because they were worried. Hey, there's brown blood coming in again. Yeah, let's get that part out. There's brown blood coming in again. So now what if the two come together and boom, the child is dark? Yeah, because it can happen.
That's what they were worried about.
And just for your information, people, in case people don't understand about bloodlines, Harry cannot be ginger without having brown blood in his bloodline.
Thank you.
It's impossible for him to be ginger without there being one of us in his bloodline.
Yep. It may be distant, but
and so all of that will be known by the royal family.
Yes.
Now they're not going to go. They're not going to go to the media and say, "Excuse me, can we explain this to you in detail so that you understand?" No, they won't. So when now suddenly, they're racist. Were
and they wanted to take away Archie's right to be a prince as well. Well, you know what?
They didn't want it to be one anyway.
They never wanted it in the first place.
But the facts are the facts. When it comes down to it, when we're looking at how the whole thing is with what's gone on with Meghan in the family and all that sort of thing, and all that was disclosed, you've got to understand that there's a balancing act going on with that whole situation. Meghan is playing a game.
Yes, she is.
Right? I'm not saying that what she said about racism and so on and so forth.
Of course it happens.
Listen, it doesn't take much to work that out.
Yeah.
Right? That has been the setting and the situation long before that.
Yeah, long before she walked her little self in there.
Listen, let me tell you. Years ago, I can't even think how old I was, but as a youth, years ago, I had a white girlfriend who came from a family where they had a bit of money. Not royals, but they had a bit of money.
Yeah.
When I say a bit of money, I mean
they were wealthy.
Proper things, big yard, big cars, and so on.
Yeah.
So they're busy cussing out their daughter because she's talking to a man who's got too much color. So you know what the mother said? I hope that you don't decide later that you would marry such a person, because I don't want to be pushing chocolate-colored grandchildren around.
You see,
right? And this is what I'm telling you.
And that's not royalty. That's just.
And that's not royalty. That's people some money.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to school, let's go back even further, because people who are trying to play games with this and act like, oh, what are they saying? But Meghan has come to tell us something that we didn't understand. No, shut up. Shut up.
That's been the problem.
Right? Yeah. What are you talking about? When I went to school, a lot of the guys in the school, their parents were university professors and lecturers and so on and so forth. Let me tell you this: you think I could go to their house and be greeted nicely by any of those parents? No, sir. Maybe 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
One of them, I used to go to the house, the woman would even set the little nasty dog on me. She'd let the dog loose. I could boot the dog in his face enough times.
Yeah, because she had taught the dog.
Whichever room I went in, of course they would be. Whichever room I went in, she left.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to sit in there with me. And you can know that these people, again, are people with money. From I tell you, it's a house where they even had a library. Right? So you have to know.
Serious money.
I'm not naming any names because in case anybody on here knows who I'm talking about. But
well.
they had a library on the basement. On the basement floor was the kitchen. Well, they had two kitchens actually, but the main kitchen was on the basement floor and the library was next to it. And we often used to go to that library so that we could stay away from her mother because her mother was nasty because she didn't want to see this.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, and I'm not referring to my fist. This
color of the skin.
So now, when you hear such things, the royals, blah 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 blah, it's
boring.
It's boring.
Yeah,
it's not news. It's boring. She knew that, and I'm not saying because love is love, but come on, you threw yourself across the man's pathway for a reason.
Yeah.
You then turn around and say, "Oh, we can't stay in this family. We have to go."
And because she has bewitched him.
She's bewitched him.
Because she's bewitched him and made him fall in love with her. He's doing whatever she says.
So he's running around behind her like an idiot. You see? Yeah. So the answer to the question, what happened when Harry, what happened when Harry met Meghan? She put witchcraft on him.
Yeah.
That's the answer to the question. When Harry met Meghan, she bewitched him.
Because look at him now. How could he go
She's turned him into an idiot.
But that's what I'm saying. How could he go from somebody who wouldn't even go to royal function? No, he's busy. I'm staying in the army. I'm not even interested in what you lot are doing. I'm staying in Africa. I'm staying in this place. No, I'm not coming. No, I'm not interested. How can he go from that to now, suddenly when it's time to speak out about his family, in an interview, he's just silent, has nothing to say.
And yes, you see, but here's the thing that I'm going to say, and this is the unfortunate thing. We're not blocked. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on.
Cool. Meghan used his psychological trauma against him.
Yeah.
They're
going to do the same
because they're going to do the same thing to Meghan that they did to my mother
in his public statement.
And no, they're not. And you know why they couldn't do that? Because Diana wasn't a witch, but Meghan Markle is a witch. I'm saying it again.
Yes.
Let me push up my hat so I can see my face. Meghan Markle is a witch.
Yes, she is.
So that's what you have to understand. What they did to Diana, they don't have the power to do that to Meghan.
No, it won't work.
Right? It wouldn't work. But she used the trauma that Harry has experienced throughout his life. Because first of all, you've got to bear in mind that everything we hear and everything we look at and everything we discuss about them, they also hear.
Yeah.
So when we sit there and we say, we've looked, is he Charles's son or not? Harry's also heard that.
Yeah.
He might not be Charles's son because he's ginger. And then they've said, well, Diana was ginger when she was young and blah, blah, blah.
But his hair hasn't changed.
And all these things that they say. Harry has also heard. So he's had a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of things that have gone on that he's heard about, known about.
Because once again, family lies and
secrets.
He may be there asking his father, "Are you my father? Do you know what's going on? Is this another part of the reason why, my mother and
why did my mother die the way she did?"
Yes.
All these type of things. He's had all those questions just like we do and every other person.
Yeah.
Now Meghan has looked at that. They're using that. Now you see, Harry looks at Meghan practically like she's his savior.
Yeah.
Because she's opened his eyes and taken him out of that family.
Yeah.
So now he's not part of the firm.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she's riding on something now. Well, apart from her broomstick, but she's riding on something that doesn't concern her.
Yeah.
You see? Oh, it's because I'm black, and that's why they've shut up with that. Please just get off of that.
The only reason.
They already don't like people of any foreign anything.
Yeah.
Right? So
even if you were white and
even
American,
if she was white and American, they would have had issue anyway.
Yeah. She's American.
She doesn't know us. She doesn't know the royal family.
See, there's so much.
She doesn't know the British customs. Yeah, exactly.
They would have only have liked her if she was British or a German.
Yeah.
Because Germans are their real family anyway.
Yep. And that is it.
You know?
British or German. She had to be a posh totty like Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they made
you know,
the media love. Because didn't you see? Because everybody talks about the media, and that's one thing that Meghan said in the interview. All I have to say is that the royals have connections, heavy connections to the media. We already
know that.
Only people sleeping didn't know this. Yeah,
people then.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we already knew that they have ties, and that's why when Kate was in the media, no one actually. What you don't realize, or maybe people don't remember, because now they've been, indoctrinated. When Kate first came around, no one cared, and no one was actually interested. People actually cared more about her sister.
That's right.
And like
Pippa or something
Pippa. Yeah. People didn't like it. She's boring, crusty. I'm not interested in her. They forced her. Exactly. Yeah. She's not that cute. Bye. No, she's not though. And then they forced her onto us. They kept showing things in the media. Kate does this and that. Yeah, look.
A live video interrupted.
Let me hear what right. Yeah. I know where I'm up to. Yeah. People. So then what did they put in the media? Oh, Kate does this and that. Kate looks beautiful in her dress and blah, blah, blah. Kate goes to this function. Kate does this. Kate does that. Family photo shoots with William. Oh, showing up the children. Kate looks radiant even though she's just given birth and all these things, yeah? Now Meghan comes along. What's in the media?
Pure negative.
She's this. She's that. She's doing this. The same things.
But look, there's so many things. She got the same outfit on what Kate had on, but it's all right for Kate to wear it, and because it was Meghan, there was some issues with every single thing she was doing. Yeah,
we know it's
because they're trying to indoctrinate people and tell you how to think and feel about these people.
Yes,
I don't need to be told how to feel about them.
No, they're both rubbish.
And remember, it's the media that's doing that.
Yes,
right. Because people need to wake up and smell the coffee.
For real.
And when the coffee comes from the media, it smells like the waste that comes from a cow.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what that means. Because they said we mustn't cuss, so I'm not cussing. It comes from a male cow.
Yep.
Yes.
The waste product of a male cow.
Yeah. I'm sure you can put the two together.
Right. Why am I saying that? Because it's simple, really. What I'm trying to say.
Who Meghan made Katie cry? Is that what people saying?
Yes, Sarah said that.
She didn't make her cry at all. I can tell you now.
Yeah, I remember
reading
that nonsense.
Well, that's just the same as them saying that guy got Piers Morgan sacked.
Yeah,
no, he didn't.
He got himself sacked. He walked off the stage.
Listen, I know for a fact she didn't make Kate cry. Kate is a stone, and you can tell. Yeah, she is a stone. You can see it on her.
She's exactly who they wanted.
Yes,
because they're telling her one day you will be a queen. So she's
in line.
She's rock solid.
Yep.
Don't you worry about that. But you see, we've got to look at this in its real context. When it comes to what you've seen in the media, British media, let's say for now, the British media are much more caustic even than the American media.
Oh yeah.
And why is that? Because they're controlled by those type of people who have a very specific opinion. And that very specific opinion that they have, you must have it.
Yeah.
Or you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to understand. So you see, when people are like waiting to hear, well, what does the Queen say? What does it doesn't matter what the Queen says or what Prince Philip says. No. We don't even need to look at that. Because just read the papers. The establishment says what it says. And that's where it starts. You see? So they didn't want to see Meghan because anyway, she's the wrong coloration, she's the wrong nationality,
she's the wrong type of
person. She's the wrong type of person.
Yeah.
We're not going to pretend, we say all of it as it is. I don't personally rate her anyway.
Yep.
But having said that, if we're going to be suddenly shocked and surprised, the royal family are really tough and they're really difficult, and we already all knew that.
Didn't you see what we were posting a few months ago before Meghan came out about how the Queen is a rapist, killer, and child sacrificing witch? Did you not see my posts?
Lizzie.
Yeah, and as well, if this is another thing that has really been grating on me about the whole situation, right? Because once again, like I'm talking about the media thing, she said, yes, the the royals, they have connection to the media, and they did nothing about what was said about me in the media.
Yes, they did.
They put it there.
Yeah,
What they
exactly.
said is what they told them to say.
Yeah.
Because
They did
I looked at
nothing
them
to
and thought,
stop
Meghan, you're just talking because you're looking sympathy, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the media said what they were supposed to say,
Exactly.
according to the royals.
Yeah. And then she wanted to say about, but they lied for other members of the family to obviously reference
Prince
Prince Andrew. But listen, where was your interview about Prince Andrew? Where was your statement?
She didn't have anything
You didn't
to
have
say.
anything to say.
Her and Harry were silent about
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
And yet
exactly.
they're there supporting children's charities
Yeah.
and all these type of
How
things.
can you say you're a
See,
supporter of
See,
children's
it's got to be.
charities?
You've got to be one thing or the other, because even in the little position that I'm sat in as I am,
Yeah.
look back through all the lives that we've done. My mouth will speak what it needs to speak.
Yeah.
Even to the point where people say, "Oh, I wish you didn't say that. Be careful, because you never know if they're coming for you." Come, because here I am.
Do you think we care?
Right? I said what I said.
And the only reason you'll be coming is because you know it's the truth.
Because
Exactly. So if it's not true, don't
That's
come.
right. If you know that I'm just an idiot and I'm off my trolley, then fine. Lee Scratch Perry, for those who know, and for those who don't know, Lee Scratch Perry is a genius reggae producer. Let me put it that way. Some would say mad genius. The mad part, I'd draw a line and a question mark around it. And why would I say I draw a line and a question mark around it? Because I believe that he's I'm trying to say what I want to say without giving too much away. I believe he's opened himself up to certain things because of his music and because of what he's been tuning into.
Right.
Again, we've talked about music on another live, and we've talked about the vibration of the universe and so on and so forth. He's one of the people who has, who's able to tune into the universe. And Lee Scratch Perry has been labeled as a madman by many people. Yeah, because they know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Is it all right now?
Yes.
Lee Scratch Perry has been labeled by many people as a madman, and he's allowed them, and he took that label and said, "Yeah, okay, no problem.
I'm crazy.
I'm crazy. If you say I'm crazy, I'm crazy." He took that label.
What do you mean? She said you're off Facebook. Sorry.
Who said that?
Sarah.
What do you mean off?
Well, no,
we're on
because we're there now.
Let
Let me take it off and let me come back.
Yeah, it says 5 people.
No, we're there.
You should just message me the same thing.
I know we've been, because maybe we did go off.
Yeah, I'm thinking we went off
It's a
for a
delayed
second.
message, isn't it?
And I think we've lost, we've lost some viewers because obviously people keep coming
the
and going
connection. Yeah.
because they're messing around with the connection.
Yeah. To drop people off. That's fine.
Yeah, but we're there. But Lee Scratch Perry, who they say is a madman, he said that the Queen sat in her palace. I'm just going to put it a little bit more tasteful anyway. But he said the Queen sat in her palace and she used her blood to kill Diana.
Yes.
And if maybe that interview can't be found anymore. I don't know. But he went into some detail of what the Queen did to kill Diana. And the facts are that everything that he said is basically how it went. Now, barring the fact that nobody else maybe was saying that the Queen used her blood to kill Diana, but he said it. Oh, he's a madman, so yeah, that's why he's saying things like that, blah blah blah. And so because it's him, they've sidelined him and brushed him off. Well, here's the thing. The royal family is dangerous. The British royal family, that's the one we're talking about at the moment anyway. They're dangerous.
They've been dangerous.
What they represent is even more dangerous. Because the royal family, as we know, is a figurehead of something.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not even going to have time. I don't want to even get into that today. That might be the next thing that we talk about. Because we're not gonna take this up to 2 hours because it's heavy.
Yeah,
you know.
It's a lot.
And also, I'd love for people to come back and watch it and really watch all of it. You know, and like I said, the royal family, dangerous.
Yeah.
What they represent, even more dangerous. They've exactly. They've been set there to protect it. Meghan has come into the royal family for her own purpose and her own reason. You know, let's round this up and put it in its real, perspective. Harry may well love Meghan. Meghan love Harry. That's what we say.
That's questionable.
Questionable. If we're talking about on the same level.
Yeah.
Will their marriage last? It may well do, because if Meghan gets her own way, I think it will last.
Yeah. When she no longer does, it's over.
Exactly. And it depends on how much she can manipulate Harry for what she wants from him.
Sister's already saying that they're getting divorced.
Will they be able to repair the relationship with the royal family? No.
Never.
Not while he's married to Meghan.
No. He'll be accepted back as soon as he leaves.
And that's the reason why Charles isn't speaking to him.
But then what about Archie?
You know, and he said that. He said, oh, well, whenever he speaks to Charles,
to be his son.
But they won't, they just sideline him.
Yeah. They'll allow him to have few little glimpses in the limelight.
They'll sideline him, yeah.
Oh, chuck
but,
him
if
the Queen's sister.
If it stays the same way, they'll just be like, no.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, that the whole thing that's been thrown into the media puts in front of your eyes what they want you to see. You need to look a little deeper if you want to look at the reality. That yes, Meghan has talked a lot of things, but she's no victim.
No.
In this, right now, the victim is Harry.
Yeah.
Harry's a serious victim. And I don't think he even knows. Because, the witch has mesmerized him.
Yeah.
But he's the victim.
Child, what he always wanted.
because he's lost his family. Even though, his family have got some dubious bloodline and wickedness and so forth in the bloodline, he's lost whatever, relationships that he had at that level with his brother, so forth.
His brother's not even speaking to him.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They asked,
the brother isn't speaking to him. The father isn't speaking to him, Charles.
No, I haven't spoken to him yet.
And the Queen, as you know,
she's not even interested.
They did that visual equivalent of I've got black friends. That's exactly what that was.
And you know why it would be like that they're not speaking? Because as far as they're concerned, he's betrayed the firm.
Yes.
See?
The secret.
And this is bigger than just he's married somebody that's got a bit of coloration in the skin. That issue is what they present in front of you to mask the reality of what it's all about. It was the same. That's why I said to you, this is the same as the Black Lives Matter issue. Black Lives Matter was put out there in front for you to be looking at that as a distraction. Because all of you who are majoring on Black Lives Matter, let me put it to you in my vernacular, una idiot.
What are you actually
Because, first of all, half of the people who are jumping up and down Black Lives Matter, they actually don't. No. They actually don't. I know some people right now who say, and I'm talking white people, let me put this straight, right? I know some white people right now who oh yes, I support Black Lives Matter, but you haven't got any real black friends. You've got black people who you know, but they're not your friends. They're just acquaintances,
no one
maybe from school days and so on. There's no black people in your family. You have no connection. You don't listen to black music. You don't eat any black people's food. You don't go to any black events or any black functions. So shut them off, right? Shut up. Shut up, because you're lying. You're lying. Then you've got now some black people who have jumped up. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 la, 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 da, 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 da. Listen, all of my life, Racism has existed.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to my father talk about racism and how it was and what they've done to black people, what they've done to black people, what they've done to black people, what they've done to black people. I listen to my mother. I listen to my brothers. I've got stories of my own from then until now. I'm a grandfather and I have stories for my granddaughter. The same thing. But all of a sudden, Black Lives Matter has jumped up and it's all put in front of your face. It's put in front of your face so that you don't see the Baphomet agenda of the world and the new world order.
The new world order.
Sneaking in underneath.
Yeah, it's like that guy said.
And the new world order has no color.
This is the problem. Where I am, and this is black, and this is what they're doing.
Yeah,
like that,
literally.
So then you're, it's all about the person's skin. This is because even, do you know what I mean? Because that's why. I saw something, and the post wasn't even about no Black Lives Matter, and some white people are coming on there. Here come the Black Lives Matter people with their rubbish. No one had even written anything on there yet. But then what that then fuels, it fuels that black person who is some Black Lives Matter supporter to then come and put their comment.
The whole idea. That's why it's run
it raises a war. Between humans.
That's what they want.
They're looking just for division.
Yeah.
That's what it wants.
And once again, this Meghan thing has just fueled people in the UK. The UK is racist. The UK is racist. It's always been racist. It's always been racist.
Same thing when people have jumped up and down. Donald Trump has allowed Donald Trump hasn't allowed anything that wasn't already allowed.
Exactly.
Those racists were there before Donald Trump, and now he's gone. They're still there.
Donald Trump has put all these people in immigration things.
Donald Trump,
excuse me.
They already were there.
The one who started that.
They already were there.
Obama opened those camps.
The president they've got now, he's still racist.
Yes, he is. So what?
And unfortunately, so is their vice president.
Yeah,
it doesn't
who's
matter
supposed to be looking like you.
But this, this is all of what we're saying, that
she's a self-hating.
That there's a lot more than skin where this is, where this is.
When it comes to the elite people,
right? Yeah, definitely.
And their dislike of Meghan is not really skin color. That's the issue. No, we're not accepting that.
No.
Because
I know that it's a distraction. So what's truly going on?
Yeah, it's more than just her color.
No, and it's more than
what's the little boy's name? Archie. And he looks exactly how Harry did when he was his age. Exactly.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there. It's the beginning of this show today was really heavy.
Yeah.
But we talked about some things that really did need to be talked about.
Yes.
And I'm not sure. I think next week, we can go deeper because I think we need to tell some people some things about the royal family.
Part 2 starts in the next hour.
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah, you wish. But I think
there's more.
Need
to be said about
we still talk about family lies and secrets again.
Yeah.
So we'll come back with a part 2 next week, and maybe we'll go around the same sort of direction.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk something about the bloodlines. We did talk about bloodlines from an external point of view, but now we need to talk about these elites. The reasoning behind why these families only want certain people, because
it's not just a color thing.
My 2 daughters here, if they choose to marry somebody, I'm not really bothered who the person is as long as it's a man. Yeah, I'm putting it out there so that if they come to me and tell me, because they're both female, and they tell me they're marrying another female, I will not be in that wedding. It's their choice.
Of course.
And I will not comment, and I will not say anything, but I'll not be in that wedding. I'll not attend neither the wedding nor the reception nor any other celebration to do with it.
No, because if you go, that it means you're in agreement.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I won't.
I won't. And wheresoever they choose to live as wife and wife, I'm not going to that yard either. You two are laughing. You can see. Look, is there any,
but I'm
no
laughing because I know it would never happen.
right? And of course I know, but I'm just, proving a point. Now, whosoever they say, oh yeah, this guy, blah blah blah, I want to marry him. I don't care whether he's black, white, pink, orange, blue, or polka dot. I may ask him, is he a Christian? Because I find that to be quite useful, and I would like to preclude in their thinking from marrying a non-Christian. But other than that, I don't really have much to say. Is he a decent guy? Does he treat you well? Have you talked about your vision for the future? Life together and things like that. That's it. And my conversation is done. Now, him, when I meet him, I might just, have a different conversation with him and tell him one or two things that he needs to know. And I'm not telling you because it's none of your business. But other than that, no. But you see, now, when you're trying now to protect and preserve your bloodline, you're not going to deal with it like that.
No.
And that's why you've got to understand. Those who are trying to preserve and protect their bloodline come from a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
That's why
for many Pakistanis and Indians, it's the same story.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that people have always thought to themselves, oh, where did, they have the caste system in India. The caste system in India came from the Aryans.
Yeah. When they moved themselves in.
That's where the caste system came from. And who are the Aryans? If you don't know, go and look it up.
Yep.
Go and look it up. Aryans, Caucasians.
Yeah.
Those are the people. They brought the caste system.
Yeah.
And why did they bring it? It's obvious why.
Yeah.
Preservation and protection of bloodlines.
Yep.
And that's what they're still.
They didn't want to their bloodline to die out.
You see?
They've always known that they are the minority.
And look at how people.
And so, like I said, there's much more
that we'll get into.
So we'll come next week on the same subject.
Yes.
And with a part 2. And let's go a little deeper.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you.
See you next time.